Welcome to the Stubbs Show. Please note that the views and opinions expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the Stubbs Show, its hosts, sponsors, or affiliates. Our platform welcomes guests from diverse cultures, backgrounds, and perspectives from around the world. The content shared is intended for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Thank you for joining us as we engage in respectful conversations and celebrate the power of diverse voices and experiences. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Stubbs, and I am heading over to the Washington, D.C. area for a serious interview with a mom who lost her teenage son to the hands of park police. Now, we are getting ready to just pull out some chairs, sit down in Anacostia Park, and talk openly about why she wants to raise awareness, why she needs your support, and why she wants to speak up about certain topics that can possibly help to stop this from happening to another mom. Now, her story went viral. You may have seen it on TMZ, YouTube, or some other platform. So I want to get into some background of her story before we sit down and start this conversation. Let's take a look.
We're learning more about the moments leading up to the shooting death of 17-year-old Delanio Martin. This is a story we've been following very closely for you. You might remember a park police officer shot and killed Martin in Northwest D.C. last month. And tonight we have body camera video of that shooting from Park Police and D.C. Police.
John Henry is going to walk us through what it shows step by step.
After 30 minutes of discussion as to how to best apprehend 17-year-old Delanio Martin before his inevitable shooting, two United States Park Police officers moved in. Both toward the back seat of this vehicle parked in D.C.'s River Terrace neighborhood. Inside the car was Martin. He was asleep at the wheel of a vehicle police believed was stolen.
Police!
When he wakes up, one park police officer is thrown out of the car into the road. The other park police officer is still in the back seat, asking Martin to stop the car.
Stop, shoot!
We've decided not to show you what happens after this request, as the video is very graphic. But we can tell you, less than 1 second later, the officer fires several times toward Martin's head and upper torso. The car later crashes into a home. Officers on scene render aid, but Martin succumbs to his injuries.
The back window is just a plastic. I'm going to try to cut that out quietly.
District senior officials told us D.C. police called in nearby park police officers for assistance after getting a 911 call about the car Martin was in. Those same officers told us it's against MPD policy to block a car's path of pursuit or to even get into a car like the park police officers ultimately did. They add, as of right now, the D.C. police officers did not appear to commit any policy violations in the case.
Now, D.C. senior officials go on to say a gun was found in the car after the shooting, but it's not clear who that gun belonged to. The Martin family lawyer tells us the family has seen the video and they believe it's murder. They also want the names of the officers to be released. The actions of those officers, by the way, are still under investigation.
All right, you guys, welcome to the Stubbs Show. Today's topic is very touchy. It's going to pull at your heart a little bit, as you guys just seen that video. And now I'm actually sitting with the mom, Miss Martin. who lost her son in that video, Delano, in 2023, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I got a call about her story, and I said, I definitely have to do this because it was just too much going on, and she's fighting a case right now and have a lawsuit, and she needs our support, and I wanted to be a part of her support system by sharing this story. So allow me to introduce you guys to Miss Martin, who is a mom and a grandmom and a community activist, and she's serious about her business, and you know she is because we got baby right here doing the interview with us. So welcome to the Stubbs Show, Miss Martin.
How you doing?
I am doing great. So I thank you for joining us here to share this story. And it's touchy. And today we're doing this recording. It's actually your son's birthday. So happy birthday to your son. How old would have been today?
He would have been 21.
21. Woo woo! Shout out. Look, drinks up to him, taking this shot for him spiritually. But right now, let's get straight into the story. Take us to the day you got the phone call about that video.
So 2 a.m. we were all on FaceTime. He was talking to his son. I had his son, and I said, Debo, I said, don't play because you play too much. You always say you're going to get him and don't get him, and I got something to do. And he said, Ma, I swear I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I swear I'm going to get him. He said, make sure you just be at Keita House at 9:30. I said, okay, not a problem. I said, well, give me to 10 because, you know, I still got to get him dressed and feed him and all that. And he said, okay. So that was like, we got off the phone with him, me and my kids and the baby, about 3:30, 3:40, something like that. And I went to sleep. My daughter calls me as I'm getting the baby dressed and say, Mom, the police just killed Debo. I said, what? She said, Mom, the police just killed Debo. I'm on my way. Where he at? She said, River-Terrace. I said, okay, I'm on my way. At this time, my car was broke. So I went and got my roommate and I knocked on his door and said, I need you to take me to River-Terrace. I got gas money or whatever. He took me to River-Terrace and I called my daughter. I said, y'all sure that's Debo? She said, yes, Mom. My son was on a three-way. My son went through every alley to see where he was, where he be at. And the next thing he said, Twin called him and said he was watching the whole thing and Debo is deceased. I got there. I seen the car crashed into the house and I seen a white sheet on my son. With that being said, I basically went to the chief of police. She played in my face. She said, can you identify him? I identified him. Soon as I identified him, they put him on a gurney, put him in the back of the ambulance, and drove him right in my face.
Just drove him away.
Drove him away. So I'm going off at this point. I'm kicking their car. I'm hitting the car. I'm trying to fight her. I'm telling all them their kids gonna be dead. I'm flipping out.
Right. Which is understandable.
I'm enraged, and I'm just like looking at the people on 295, looking. Their car's not going fast enough because I want to run in traffic. Next thing you know, I'm out there for like 5 hours, and Nene and Jay, all of them came out there to support me. I just couldn't get it together. I got on the phone with some attorneys, and they had said that they'll meet with me on Sunday. I just couldn't comprehend what was going on. I just couldn't comprehend. My son was deceased. Twin said, Ma, I tried to call Debo to wake him up. I kept pinging the phone. He wouldn't wake up. I said, Debo sleeps so hard.
Okay, so when you were out there for the 5 hours, your son had been driven away to the hospital, or wherever they were taking him because he was already passed away, deceased. What did the police say to you about what happened?
They never said anything. They didn't even communicate with me. They didn't say anything. So I
They
kept.
didn't even ask you, did you want to ride in the ambulance with your son?
No, they didn't ask me anything. They didn't even talk to me. After I identified my son, all communication went out the window.
Mm.
So I called some detectives and stuff that I know. And I said, if you don't get somebody out here to talk to them, I'll flip out on these people. I'm going to zap out. And they was like, okay, let me see what I can do. They like I'm back and forth on the phone with good people I know, my family members that are law enforcement, trying to get somebody to talk to me. Who did they send my way is Pamela Smith. They were trying to secretly have a press conference and not include me to hear what happened to my son or what they gonna say. And Pamela Smith tried to take me down the street. I wasn't going for that. I said, I don't know why they sent you. I don't care what color you are or nothing. You're not going to take me away from here because you was the chief of park police. I did my research on you already prior.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, I'm not. I want to be a part of that. Nene was advocating for me at the time to be a part of that press conference to hear what happened to my son.
So when they did that press conference, what did they say happened? Did they call it what it was, which was police shooting, killing, homicide,
They put it as a police shooting.
self-defense?
And no, they said they still investigating. That's what they said at the press conference.
So how many days did it take for them to finally talk to you and show you evidence or confirm what they said happened?
So I still fighting to confirm what happened. They did after hours come to my daughter's house where I was sitting in a car, and they basically showed me a picture of my son and asked me to identify him. I said, oh, you're going to identify my son through a picture? You took my son to the morgue as John Doe. My son was listed as John Doe. It's even in the police report as John Doe.
And you showed up on the scene to
I
say
showed
who it
up on the
was.
scene. They gonna ask me, how did I know that was my son? Oh, because I got the phone call. I know. But then you show me a picture of my son
To identify.
to identify him.
So how many days did it take for you to actually get to the morgue to see your son?
I never went to the morgue to see my son. I wasn't never invited to see my son at the morgue.
Why?
I only identified my son through a picture. I don't know. DC laws have to change of how they treat people of that children are killed on the street. Number one, they don't let you identify them on the scene. They drive them away. That's rude. That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's inconsiderate of
The
feelings
family.
and everything. Second of all, you didn't let me go to the morgue to see my son. I called every hour on an hour
What was
until
the excuse for that though?
that's their policy. It's a policy.
Okay.
And so when people talk about policies, I just feel like, is that who policy is? Who agreed to that policy? What board agreed to that type of policy with no dignity or no self
No
respect of
compassion, empathy.
empathy, anything? They didn't have anything. It was like some of the officers was out there laughing in my face. Laughing in my face.
So let me ask you, because we saw in the video that an officer did the shooting. What happened to that officer?
He got taken to the hospital.
For
I guess he was hurt. But he self-harmed himself because I never knew police get in the back of a car with a suspect.
no. Mm-mm.
So that's self-harm.
So is he still employed?
I don't know. I don't know nothing.
So here we are, years later, down the line, and you're still fighting for your son.
Yes, I'm a fight until I can't fight no more.
And let's talk about that fight. What are you fighting? Let's talk a little bit about your case and why you want to raise awareness on today. What are you fighting? Because to the police and to the DC policies, it's basically done with.
So let me back up.
Okay.
Let's back up a
Let's
little
back
bit.
it up.
MPD policies are different than federal. U.S. Park Police is federal police officers. So they fall under a different category of MPD. They don't have to release the officer name. They keep them hidden forever. It's harder to sue federal police officers. And even if you file, the judge can say they dismiss under what is they under immunity, and they could dismiss your case under immunity.
And that leaves the parent to do what?
Nothing, because you can't even appeal that. I mean, you can appeal it, but it's just a process and a process and
It
a
takes
process,
forever.
and it's going to take forever. I mean, I know people are still fighting for their case and went all the way to Supreme. I can't say what happened in Supreme Court because I don't know their case, but I was out there when they filed their paperwork
And
to
they're
Supreme.
still fighting.
And they still fighting after years. So again, we don't win this battle. We lose this battle and we be left with pain. And if we don't work together to change real policy, we got to change real policy, and real policy is changing this police thing. And I'm not saying taking qualified immunity off, because we got to word and use our wording different. I don't want to take qualified immunity off the table. What I want to do is add, if you wrongfully kill someone's child, they can come after your pension. They can sue you. I mean, I want to be able, because I know you're not going to take qualified immunity. I have did the research of how many years Dr. Martin Luther King and everybody else then tried to fight for that, and it's not off the table. So let's change the verbiage that we use and change policies that way.
Yeah, and give parents some type of justice when the federal police or MPD, whoever does something wrong, injustice. Because here it is, you know, from what I saw, your son was shot from the back.
Yes.
I didn't see a gun. I didn't see him turn around getting aggressive or violent with the officer. And possibly if he wouldn't have gotten shot in his back from the back, he wouldn't have ran into that home and the officer wouldn't have got harmed. He would have eventually pulled over, or something could have been done so that car can be stopped and he could be arrested. And they say self-defense. I just didn't see self-defense because I didn't see your son doing anything that was aggressive towards the officer or a threat besides driving the car.
Right.
And the officer didn't have to get in the car. They could have pursued him outside of the car.
He was ordered not to get in the car. So it's a video prior to that video. If you go on YouTube, you can see all the videos. And
shout out to TMZ real quick. I want to shout out TMZ for making this a worldwide dilemma and putting it out there, because we wouldn't be fighting in a lot of other podcasts who have presented this story to their audience. It wouldn't happen if we wouldn't have seen it on TMZ.
Yes.
And that's why I want to talk about it and hope that you win your case, because something has to be done. We clearly saw your son get shot in his back.
Yeah,
I just don't know how they justify that.
But it's another video where all the body cams were dropped, and it's a video on. If you go to YouTube, you can see all the videos of Delano, and it's broken down. They plotted. They even made a joke about putting him on a crane, putting the car on a crane. But what's funny, of all the officers, even the senior officer, no one said cut the car off, and no one said wake him up. So
Or
it
tap
basically,
on the window.
yeah, It seems like y'all plotted to murder him.
And we know a lot of times these officers meet with these youth in the community, and something may happen and they may get smart with the officer or say something the officer don't like, and that officer is a human first with emotions. And I've seen in the past where officers say, oh, I'll get you, just wait and see, I'll get you, and they line things up until they arrest that person. And it's ego, it's pride, you know. And like you said, policies got to change, because they could have stopped this from happening.
Right.
But we're getting ready to take a quick break here on the Stubbs Show. Listen, the Stubbs Show is real. You see, we out here at the park. We got the baby with us in the interview, chilling. The wind, the breeze feels amazing. It is a beautiful day on your son's birthday to tell his story and raise awareness. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about the Department of Youth and some other things that you're fighting for and you want to raise awareness to, that will not just help her case, but it can help others. Remember, this might not be your story, but it could be your story. And it's our story when we're talking about changing the community.
That's right.
We'll be right back here on the Stubbs Show.
Is it time to get your fluffy, scruffy pet's hair done? Look no further. Pooch Styles Pet Grooming, in operation for 14 years in the Forestville, Maryland area, is ready to serve you. Give us a call at 301-456-7081. 301-456-7081. We're looking forward to servicing you and your furry loved one.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I just want to let you know that I am seeking book authors to become a guest on our show. Now, it was Instagram Live, but now we're on all three platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So this is your way to grow and reach more people. Don't forget to email us at thelofnetwork@gmail.com, and you can become a guest on the show and also have your book placed within the show. All right, you guys, I look forward to hearing from you soon.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Stubbs Show. Remember, if you would like to become a guest on the show, you can just shoot me an email at thelofnetwork@gmail.com. The Stubbs Show is global, so we will have a way to interview you if it's not in person. So make sure you email and connect with us, because we want to share your story. But right now, we're sharing the story of Delano Martin and from Washington, D.C., and you guys may have seen that story on TMZ. For all those who are just logging into the interview, we're getting ready to get into the part of where was he at and what was life like before he got into this situation. Because as you've seen, and they said throughout the story, for those who have been following it, he was in a stolen car at the time. All right, so now let's get into some of the background of your son and where he was at in life at that time that led him up to being in that stolen car.
He was 17 years old. He had a 5-month-old at the time of his death that he was fighting custody and won. He was trying to get his life in some type of order. He enjoyed being a dad. You know, he always talked about, oh, that's my son, that's my son. He used to always tell us that. But he had got in some trouble and he was in the shelter house. The PO said that she was referring him to come home. And when we got to court, she lied and started talking about all this other stuff after you had just told him the night before he was coming home. So Delano decided to leave the shelter house and have an open custody order because he's a juvenile. So they have custody orders. With that all being said, 3 weeks later, my son is deceased after leaving the shelter house. And that's why I'm fighting for change through DYS, the shelter houses, CASA, and CFSA.
Yeah, because they're not doing enough to protect and keep our children safe. So
Mm-hmm.
during that time, he was actually within their custody,
Right.
and they were supposed to be looking out for him. So did they step up to support and help you with anything?
They came in and gave their condolences.
And that's it.
Anything else? No.
So when you say you're raising awareness about the shelter homes and what's going on, what are some of the concerns that you want to raise awareness about?
The awareness of the shelter homes is um the staffing, unprofessional staff. The shelter houses are getting shot up. Um, Kids are being able to rob other kids in there.
In the shelter.
Yes. You have transgenders are not safe in there.
Hmm.
Um, um, it's so many things that's so wrong. Some of the staff are actually um flirtatious and letting the little young guys touch
Say
their
thing.
butts and
Yeah.
say things. So it's very so when I went to go visit my son um at the shelter house, not that particular shelter house he ran from, but um Umbrella shelter house, a staff basically was they were talking very inappropriate to each other, her and another young guy, and he rubbed her butt, and she said, "Oh, you know that's inappropriate, but what happened to
The
the
consequences.
consequences?" And no, you know
don't
you
do
ain't
that.
supposed to touch me.
Yeah, the authoritative
You
figure.
say, "Oh, you know, you ain't supposed to do that." No, it's and laughing. No, you have to put some authority into that.
So who's policing those types of places? Because these are things that we need to bring up, and it was a concern to me because, if your son is running from a place that's there to help him, I can just imagine what is really going on, that you prefer to be out on the streets and homeless than in a sheltering or place that's supposed to help and provide for you. Like, who's policing these places?
Well, they ran by they ran by independent people, but DYS is contracted with them. So
Department of Youth and Rehabilitation
yes,
Services.
so they basically don't have no oversight. They don't want no oversight. I have been fighting Council Member Parker about allowing me and the community and other youth to do an oversight board for
DYRS.
DYS, CFSA, the shelter houses, and be able to give council monthly reports about incidents and how they handle and what it needs to be investigated. And it's like your kids is really unsafe. So I know the fear of a mom because it's not just like I say, the work that I do, I lived it. Every piece of this work I do, I have background in it. My kids was in the shelter house. I know what goes on in the shelter house. I fight the shelter houses when my son was in there. My son was pinned down for 20 minutes, robbed for $30.
And so I mean, and because I want to get into that type of stuff too. So when did anything good come from your son being in that shelter or any of the shelter
No,
homes?
deceased. That's the only good came out of Debo. We call him Debo, Delano's stay in the shelter house. His brother got robbed in the shelter. I took him out. He said, "Well, we're gonna put it." I said, "Guess what? I don't care what you do. Do it. I'm going downtown in the morning." And so the thing about me is I go to decision makers. I don't go to just regular workers. I need to see the director. If they're not available, you better get me somebody next to it.
And while you in this field, because as mothers we go through things where you may face eviction or go through something and your child has to go into these shelters, and you've dealt with these situations and you're fighting for those. What would you like to see happen? What type of change would you like to see be done?
I would like an oversight board, a real oversight board, not nothing stay inside. I need the public to know every step of the way of what's going on with
And were they
you.
reporting to you what was going on with your son?
So I get report. No, they didn't report to me. My child didn't know how to talk. They tell me and they call me. each one of my kids, when something happened to them, they call.
But what is done when it's something?
Oh, when it's done. So when that happened, I got his PO changed. I got the PO off my kid's case, because she was nothing but a liar. Not just my son, but other kids that um I have contact with, other families that I work with. She did the same thing to their kids, and it's just
So what happens to
unacceptable.
these type of people when they do? So what I'm saying is we're fighting it and you're raising awareness to bring this change at these type of places. But who do we talk to? Because I've seen news stories. We've seen your report make it to TMZ, and you're still not getting the right counsel and the neighborhood ANCs and people to come. Who's stepping up to help mothers like you?
They help who they know. These people don't know me. I mean, they know of me. They don't know me.
Because you
And
won't sit down and just take
I
it.
can't be in the clique. I'm not in the clique of Ward 7, 8, none of that. I don't believe in the wards. And because I'm not in the clique, I'm not part of what can I say? You'll get this handout, and you get this, and you get that when your child die. I'm not part of the clique. So everything I got it because I fight for it and I learned how to do it. On down to my 501c3. They wanted to charge me $5,000. I figured out how to do it by sitting down, and Debo had woke me up at 4:30 in the morning and said, "Mom, you can do it." And when I got up, I started playing with the computer, and I did it for $275.
Were you in the community before your son got
Yes.
killed?
So I had a company called Each One Teach One of DC, and I was out of the Hive in Ward 8. And I did so what I did was educate moms about how to read their kids' IEPs, because the IEPs in the charter schools, we believe in these charter schools, but they are the worst. And Monument Academy for 4 years cut and paste Delano's IEP. And so after I brought that to the attention and sued them, basically I start wanting to teach moms how to read them, because every child IEP looks the same and they shouldn't.
But we're going to take another quick break, and I want to talk to her more about her 501cs, let you guys know how you can help, and then I just want to dig a little bit deeper into the Black community, because there's so many things that we need to talk about and change. And if we don't, we're going to keep seeing things like this happen. And what you say, it's becoming a new norm?
It's the new norm.
That's sad. That's sad that our new norm is our children being killed and murdered.
Hello, this is Angel Y, owner of Home Helpers of Wardolph, Maryland. Are you in the Southern Maryland region and in need of non-medical in-home care? Well, maybe we can assist you. Some of the services that we provide are assisting with bathing, medication reminders, companion care, and so much more. Check out our website to see all the wonderful ways that we can assist you at www.homehelpershomecareofwardolphmaryland.com. We also are providers for our veterans. I look forward to hearing from you.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I just want to let you know that I am seeking book authors to become a guest on our show. Now, it was Instagram Live, but now we're on all three platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So this is your way to grow and reach more people. Don't forget to email us at thelofnetwork@gmail.com. And you can become a guest on the show and also have your book placed within the show. All right, you guys, I look forward to hearing from you soon.
So when your son passed, did the city or the state help you with therapy or anything of that
No,
sort?
they didn't help us with anything. My youngest son was 12 at the time, and he just did not care. And I'm gonna be very honest. his friends, his cousins, his brothers, his sisters, they didn't have no understanding. They didn't get no help. I didn't get no help. They start just doing any and everything.
And the city didn't give you any type of support. It just baffles me that the police didn't offer, any type of support as far as therapy.
No, they didn't know. I didn't get offered victims' crimes. My case is still sitting down there, say pending.
And that's one of your fights that you're fighting against now.
Right. I want to fight. I need everybody to support me to fight, because I feel like when we kill each other, they give you 25,000, but when the police kill us, we get nothing. That's not, that's kind of backwards. And the other thing is, I feel like at the end of the day, you have to do right by the community. And we're not being treated right, but we also not treating each other right. Black on black crimes, that's what they want. Stop killing each other. What are y'all beefing for? Why are y'all beefing about government property that they don't even respect you? You don't own these neighborhoods. You don't own them. And then when they shut them down and move you to another neighborhood, then what you gonna say? You're beefing with that neighborhood, so that means you're homeless. You're out here. You're trying to survive. You might be sleeping in stolen cars. You might be doing anything, and then the police come up, and God forbid, your child is killed, all because we're not teaching our children. We own no property in the District of Columbia. This is all government land. And if we start telling them, what are you beefing about? Oh, because they said something about one of the rappers. All these rappers are getting killed.
Yeah.
And they getting killed with talent.
Yeah.
They can rap. Stop rapping about crimes, and stop rapping about each other, and stop rapping about what you did with someone else's female. We have to save our children. Our children are under attack from us, and our children are under attack from the government. They have no win.
And other races, especially our black young boys, they're highly under attack. And our young girls are being kidnapped and sold in different places. But I'm glad that you bringing this up, because in the black culture, we have to do more. There was a time where your neighbor cared about you.
Right.
There was a time where if you lost your child, the neighborhood came. You didn't have to cook that week. You didn't have to struggle that week, because they came to see what you needed. They supplied and supported you. You didn't have to do the GoFundMes, because they showed up for you. Family was there. But our family's not even together anymore. No. We're not together. And you brought up the children killing each other over rap. They're killing each other over any and everything. And as you said, you never know where you will have to sleep if you become homeless. But we wouldn't have so many of us being homeless if we supported one another.
That's right.
Other mothers may call and want your support, but where's the motherly bond before your child got killed? Trauma bonding is what some parents are doing, because they heard your child's story. Your story made it to TMZ. You're in the community fighting. So now they want to push some of this off on you. But where's your support? And like you say, boots on the ground, and keep going. But at some point, as black women, we have to understand we can't just go.
That's true.
We need a village. When you went through what you went through, and even now, you need a village for days that you can have a break.
So I'm trying to build a hub. And what that look like is, we have all these orgs that kind of do the same work or different work. And we can merge them, not really merge them together, but just be under one umbrella. That I could go to John, and he got the mentor program. Can you please mentor this? Refer that out.
Like a wraparound.
Refer this out. But we all stay together, and we have team meetings, and we all on one accord with that family just so we can help that family and be successful in helping.
A wraparound system.
That's what that village looked like to me. We can have maybe a grandmother that, because I'm gonna be honest. If a runaway kid come to my house, I'm gonna house them. I'm sorry, I'm gonna house them just so I know that they not in no stolen car sleeping, or they not in a curfew zone that the military and the KKK can bother them.
Yeah.
So yes, I do those things, and I'm going to continue. And then I say, why are you running? Who? And then I go to directors. I go to directors. I go to directors because half of these kids are in the system. When we talk about incredible messages, it ain't many of them, and people don't like them, and they trying to defund them. But I will say, when I went through what I went through with losing my son,
they were there.
I met an incredible messenger because my son had went to challenge, and when he went to challenge, he had to have a mentor, and someone gave me the incredible messenger that my son has. His name is James Copper, and James is the bomb. He's that village of a man that I say for single parents like myself, because James nicely, I call him at 2:00. My son out here, I don't know where yet. He calling, he coming, he doing that extra mile that he's not paid for, but he's doing it because that's his passion. These young boys is his passion. And I say all the time, I asked him, could you take my other son? He said, I said, please take him. Let me call your supervisor. And I begged, let him take my younger son.
You get us connected with James, me connected with James, so I can have him on the show to talk about the work that he's doing, because we need more people out doing this type of work. So she wants to talk a little bit about the Delaney Martin Wrongful Deaths Act. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but tell us more about it.
So I'm trying to get council to change the laws of when your child is a juvenile, that they don't get treated as adult. So in the District of Columbia, it's called a personal representative. So when you file a lawsuit, because my son was a juvenile and he didn't have a will, we had to have a personal representative. Well, it just don't automatically go to the mom or the dad or anybody. Any stranger can apply and be that for your child. So I'm trying to change DC Code 2701 and DC Code 2703. Every other state, even Maryland and Virginia, has changed that law. And DC is the only one that has not changed the law. So Councilmember Pinto told me that she was going to do it on an emergency base, and she did not. So with that being said, I'm going hard before everybody gets in the chair. Janine gets in the chair as mayor, and Robert White gets in the chair as Senate. So help me fight this fight.
And how do they help you? Do they
I'm gonna send the petition over to you, and you can
post it.
All
right, so you guys will find it on our Facebook page at the Stubbs Show, so you guys can sign the petition and sign up for this Wrongful Death Act. Let's get it passed. Let's move quickly, because we know November is coming really soon. So let the people know how they can connect with you, with the best way to connect with you, and the best way that they can support you.
So the best way you can connect with me, you can email me at justice and it's FOR and it's DALANEO @gmail.com. And my phone number is 301-201-0140. That's my business number for Delano's nonprofit. And
Apple Pay is 202-812 9834. Once again, that's 202-812-9834. I know she's raising money for the community, but I want you guys to also just community and support her.
You can support me by volunteering. Let's curfew checks. Friday and Saturday, wherever they put the curfews on, let's come out and make sure our kids are safe. I bought a movie screening so we can do movies for the youth. I just want to be able to grab the youth, come and support the trauma group. I run a pair-ran trauma group. I also advocate for all types of things. Just come and join. And the organization is Raise One, Teach One, Delano Martin Foundation. It's a 501c3. And I also have Families for Justice that I'm a co-founder of. So please come and join us.
And I thank you guys for watching another episode of the Stubbs Show. I'll be back on next week with another great episode, but keep the conversation going throughout the week. Like, share, and comment. Like, share, and comment. Because the more that you share this show, the more that it's spread for other people to be able to share their testimony and hear testimonies as such, so that you guys can have an enhanced life, have tips, and just go out and take your leap of faith. All right, you guys, we got to go.